Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video, and today I'm taking you over the best $600 gaming PC build for 2016, but more specifically the months of May through to July. So make sure to drop a like rating and make sure to subscribe. But let's get straight into this $600 gaming PC build. Now, with any build, I always get asked, James, how will this build perform? This build will smash the latest AAA titles at 1080p. 1080p is going to be a target resolution for this build, but you can quite easily go up to a little bit of 1440p if you wish, especially in the slightly older games such as World of Warcraft, League of Legends, Minecraft and CSGO. You can also do a light bit of rendering and video editing on this, and even do a little bit of live streaming as well if you wish to platforms such as Twitch or YouTube. But let's kick it off with the CPU. The CPU I chose was Intel's Core i5. It's a 2.7 GHz quad-core processor, and it's their 6400. It's their lowest end desktop i5 chip, and whilst 2.7 GHz isn't the highest, it's still going to outperform any of AMD's FX 6300 or 8320 offerings, if you will. Now, to house a Skylake chip, you of course need an LGA1151 motherboard supporting the new Skylake chips and that new LGA1151 socket from Intel. And to do that, the ASRock H110M-HTV is a micro ATX motherboard which supports that socket, as well as supports DDR4 and the full X16 bandwidth on that PCI-E Generation 3 slot, meaning you're not going to limit any of the future graphics cards that come out, as currently graphics cards only tend to utilize around half of that, but as graphics cards get more powerful, they may start to draw that 16, so a little bit of future proofing on that front. Not to mention, it supports up to Intel's highest end i7, the 6700K, and will no doubt support Kaby Lake and the generation after Kaby Lake, as well, as Intel tend to do 3 generations around about per socket, and this is a new motherboard with a new socket. For RAM, one 8GB DIMM of Kingston's HyperX Fury comes in black, white, red or blue, and comes clocked at 2133 MHz. It is of course DDR4, which is great, just being on that new architecture, and it comes in at a great value price as well, at just over $30. For storage, I was going to go for a separate hard drive and SSD, and you could probably squeeze that in, as this build does come just below the $600 mark. But instead I went for a good balance, a balance between capacity and speed. The Seagate 1TB 7200 RPM hybrid drive. Now, what does this mean? This combines the speed and capacity, so the speed of an SSD and capacity of a hard drive, to allow support for your movies, your music, your games and your massive Steam library, but also try and fasten up those boot up times in Windows, and allow you to access your most frequently used files much quicker than a normal hard drive would. The hard drive portion of this drive has 7200 RPM spinning platters, which is as fast as the mainstream hard drives get. For the video card, the XFX R9 380 is a great option. I did a review of the R9 380 4GB double dissipation card. I went for the one with the 2GB frame buffer, just to save a little bit of money in this build. But it's a really nice card. It looks nice, comes in a nice form factor, and is actually quite light, not warranting a backplate in the slightest. For the case, the Thermaltake Versa H23 allows you to look at your build, admire it, and also allows for some good ventilation at a great value price point. It looks good, you can get it really cheap. It supports full-size ATX motherboard, so you are going to have a little bit of room to play around with, and it also allows for an ATX power supply, which we will be utilising. Talking of ATX power supplies, the XFX XT 500W 80+ bronze certified unit is the power supply of choice for this build, and gives 500 watts of power, up to 500 watts of this power in this build. And this build does only consume 340 watts, allowing you to put an SSD, double the RAM as well in this build, or even upgrade to a higher end graphics card. Not to mention the 80+ certification guarantees it will run above 80% efficiency, and that is tested at 20, 50 and 100% load scenarios. But hopefully you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. I apologise, my voice is literally dying right now, but yeah, make sure to drop a like rating. As I said, make sure to subscribe. If you want to buy any of this stuff, I'll leave Amazon links in the description below. But as always, we will see you in the next GeekaWhat video.